Well, one more week at Nevada Northern.
Wow.
This is kind of our final, and the final for 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we went out there to see, actually, was the final runs of number 40.
Yeah.
And this was the final last and for all, last hurrah, as they're putting the engine away for 2 years.
That just breaks my heart in a
To
way.
totally rebuild it. Well, it was so sad because everybody was like, woo.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's only for 2 years. Yeah, but it's for 2, you know.
I know.
Anyway.
It's like an old friend that has to go bye-bye for a while.
And so it has to be in the hospital for 2 years.
But it'll be safer.
But won't it be neat when they roll it back out?
Yes, what a
So,
celebration.
That'll be really awesome.
Right.
Anyway, here we go. The Steptoe Valley Flyer. They've recreated the Steptoe Valley Flyer for the final run of number 40. So check this out. It's amazing. Well, here's our train, and this time this really is the last and final run of number 40 for a while.
Just kind of makes me sad.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
Yes, in the next couple of days they'll be moving this into the shop and pulling out the superheater in anticipation of pulling the tubes out of the boiler and tearing everything down.
But that's necessary.
It's important. We were really lucky to get seats on this train.
Well, say we were.
There's, as you can see, very few people. They're only putting the one chair car, number 5, on here, and then they can't sell that out because of social distancing. They're recreating this train, the Steptoe Valley Flyer, that last ran on July 31st, 1941.
Wow.
And then it was replaced by a bus, but they put the train away. They put it into storage, thinking that the bus might not work out.
Yeah, you never know about these things.
Well, the bus worked out,
Yeah.
but they never did get rid of the train, and
Thank goodness.
it's a long story exactly why and how that came into being. But they saved these 2 cars and this one locomotive, the Steptoe Valley Flyer.
That is so cool.
And so that's what they've recreated today, is the Steptoe Valley Flyer.
Yay.
And that's what we get to ride on. Originally, the train ran north all the way up to the Southern Pacific. It's over 100 miles.
Oh, my.
And all the tracks are still in.
They are. That's so cool.
And we've chased down a lot of the old grade. You can't say it's abandoned. I mean, there is an intent to use it again, but it hasn't been used now in decades. But isn't it neat to see that the tracks are all still in?
That's awesome.
All the way up the Steptoe Valley, all the way up to Shafter, where the tracks met the Union Pacific, and then the original tracks all the way on to Cobre,
Okay.
where they met with the Central Pacific. Don't you just love old abandoned tracks?
I love it. It's sagebrush growing up through the middle. It speaks volumes.
It's like a ghost town.
It is.
But it's a ghost railroad, and it's so fun to go finding these old these old ghost railroads. This is Cobre, right here. We went all the way up to Cobre, where you see the train up there. That was originally the Central Pacific on the Transcontinental Railroad.
Right.
Later, of course, the Southern Pacific, and now the Union Pacific. But same grade.
Yes.
Same grade that was laid down in 1869. And then this railroad came along later and tied into that here at Cobre, over 100 miles north of Ely.
The baggage car ahead of us is car 20. This is a car built by American Car and Foundry. It's split into two.
So this is Baggage Express Car 20.
Isn't this cool?
And it was always part of the Steptoe Valley Flyer, and we spent some time here in the baggage area. It's just a fun place to ride. Where we couldn't ride was in the front part of the car, just because it's walled off. That's the post office.
Right.
And they'd have let us in there, it's just that it's walled off from the rest of the car. It still has its original lights. Now, they told me these are kerosene lights.
Oh, okay.
They look like gas lights
They
to
do.
me. And so if you guys know exactly what's going on here, comment in the comments. But the Nevada Northern says these are kerosene lights. They augment these, the clear story windows.
I love those.
Also called the Celestry windows. I don't know how that came into being, but originally this was called a clear story, a little raised section with windows in it to let in light and to provide for improved ventilation on the ones that open. These don't open because you don't need to ventilate your baggage car.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But I love these old lights. Again, to me they look like gas lights because I'm looking at those jets on there going, boy, those look like gas. And gas was used on a lot of the trains. Typically they would have gas tanks underneath the car and then gas lines feeding up. But some of these lights also ran on carbide.
Oh.
You'd fill the tanks with carbide and water, and then that would produce acetylene gas. And then, of course, a lot of the cars did have actually kerosene lights.
Right.
And that's what the Nevada Northern says these are. But they look like gas lights to me. This one has clearly had a lot of work done on it and more to do. Notice the openings in the roof to let the smoke and fumes out through the top of the car. All those gas lights and kerosene lights had that same feature where the chimneys went up through the top. Here's the heat for the car.
Oh.
Just a steam line back from the locomotive, and that supplies heat to the whole train. But here in the baggage car, it's just this big series of pipes. And these wood racks on the floor are called fish racks.
Oh, dear.
And not really because of fish. If you had anything frozen, it would be stashed in this area of the car. So if the ice melted, the water could run out through these slats and then into a metal pan and then out to the bottom of the car. Well, as we near the top of Robinson Canyon, we get up to where the mine pits are.
Which is really neat.
It's really neat, and there's a lot of old mine infrastructure here, and the mines are still being operated.
Yeah, somewhat.
They were closed for a while and then open for a while, typical mines. Mm-hmm. But you can always tell when the mines are open because these giant piles of leverite get larger.
They leave her right there.
They leave her right there. Yeah, this is the ore that's not worth taking, so you just leave her right there. But all these big open pits produce this. They want to call it overburden. I want to call it leverite. But you see these big, huge mountains, just literally mountains of overburden that's brought up out of the pits so that they can get to the actual ore. At the Bingham Canyon mine, these piles are now, 2,000 feet high?
Oh, something like that.
Unbelievable. Now this is the chair car 5.
Which is beautiful.
Oh man, they got this. It was originally a Pullman sleeper. Here you can see that it was converted to electricity, but notice where they sealed off the openings where the chimneys originally vented up through the top of the car.
Interesting.
But all of these cars were converted to electricity very early on, like 1910, something like that. But this is a much earlier car than that and was originally equipped with some kind of gas lighting. But it was converted into a chair car, and look at how beautifully done that was.
Oh, it's amazing. Stained glass windows and velour velvet seats.
Those signs look like they've been added. No, those are original.
They're the original. Wow.
This is the no smoking part of the car, and it has cloth seats. The other half of the car is the smoking half, and it has vinyl seats now. I think maybe they were originally something other than vinyl, but something like that. But up here in the non-smoking section, it featured cloth velour seats. And I think the cloth velour is the only thing that's been replaced.
Oh, my.
It was kind of in bad shape when they took the car over a few years ago. But look at the condition of the hardwood.
Oh, it's just beautiful.
It looks brand new.
Like fine furniture.
But I think this car was converted to a chair car somewhere around 1909.
I see.
It's
Wow.
a beautiful, beautiful car.
What they call the ore bypass. The founder of this railroad believed that a copper mine could be profitable here, and he used the process that was pioneered by a man named Mr. Stratton. His process was to instead of following the vein of the rock, he found that if you move and not cover, you can take a low-grade copper and sink
It was so fun being part of this moment.
We were so lucky.
No kidding.
You know, we got our seats very early, but just very fortunate because, again, you can see how completely empty this train is. It's sold out.
Right.
But with COVID, they could only fit this number of people in here. So
Right.
we were just super, super, super lucky to get on this train. Because of the special nature of the train, they did a couple of different photo run-bys for us.
Which is always fun.
Yeah, so we all get to get off the train and then they back up and we get to stand alongside the tracks and get pictures of the train coming by. So they did 4 photo run-bys total. So we actually just stopped twice along the line, but they did 2 different run-bys
Right.
at each location. So between you shooting and me shooting and 2 times passed at 2 different locations, boy, we got an eyeful.
We did. It was really fun.
That was a great feature. It's really fun when they do photo run-bys on a special train like this. Well, and with that, we get back on the train, and at this point, we're also almost back to East Ely,
Right.
ending our lovely excursion up Robinson Canyon with the Steptoe Valley Flyer.
That was sure fun. Man.
What a great thing. What a fun event for us. Well, they say that the work will be done in about a year and a half on number 40. And then we'll come back and see that.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, number 81 is going to be sort of replacing 40. That one will be rolling out here in about 4 months.
Oh, neat.
And let's come out for that.
Absolutely. Hi,
And,
Dirt.
and then we'll say hi to Dirt again. We always have
Yes.
to stop in and say hi to Dirt whenever we're in Nevada. And the new cat,
Oh, DJ.
DJ Dirt Jr. But this was just a grand adventure. So neat that they put on this whole party to send 40 away for a little bit of time. The double header and all of the great events that we saw while we were out here at Ely.
Yes.
Always fun to come out to Ely.
Right.
And this was a super, super, super special event.
It sure was.
Well, if you've never been out to Ely, it's really a must-see.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're a steam fanatic, while something like a double header like this is fairly rare, they in the summer at least they run steam every single weekend.
Right.
Either with number 40, which will be put away for a while here, but they still have 93,
Right.
and they'll be running that. And they run in the winter. They don't run a regular schedule of steam during the winter, but they have special events throughout the winter and the Christmas train and all of that sort of thing. So there's
Right.
always something going on.
Absolutely.
So check out their website or their Facebook page, and you will find some really fun things to do. And come visit Ely. It's really great. Well, that did not disappoint.
No,
No.
not even.
That was just really neat. And we got to both ride it and see it because they did run-bys.
Right.
And so that was really neat. So we got to see it from both on and off the train, which is why we bought tickets for this run.
Right.
And just to say, we rode the final last hurrah for Nevada Northern before it goes in for its 15-year rebuild.
Right.
So that was really neat.
Always fun.
Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, pop over to the channel, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And the easy way to get to the channel and subscribe, are we ready for it? Zoink! Right there, the blue button. We will see you here on Tuesday.
Yes.
We're going to be up in the attic messing around with some stuff.
Always.
We'll see you then.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.